Hello everyone, welcome into episode 2 of our AS Roma save here on Football Manager 2023. My name is Ash or Brahma, whichever you prefer. Today we've got a big one. It is the Derby della Capitale for you, Roma versus Lazio, and it is a big one, a real big one. If you haven't checked out episode 1 yet, make sure to go and have a look at that one first as we set the scene and get underway in the season. It's been a very good start to the season so far. We'll certainly talk about that more in a little moment, but first, in the last episode, I asked you guys to let me know which teams you started with on FM23, and you reached out, and thank you for the very kind feedback on the series as well. Now I want to know what formation you are using. What system are you playing? Attacking, gegenpressing, more of a patient possession style? Are you playing more of a cautious, pragmatic, defensive style? Which formation are you playing as well? Let me know in a comment section down below. Really interested to know that. Also, if you haven't done so already, check out my gaming podcast. The links are down below, talking all things video games with me and my pal, who's also called Ash. And check out my Patreon, lots of great perks and rewards on there that you can get access to. Right then, with that being said, first things first, let me take you through what's been going on. So you remember in the first episode, we played Spezia and Monza, and it was very, very successful. 3-0 and 2-0 win, both clean sheets. Then after that, we've had this run of games here, as you can see. And it's been very, very good indeed. Now, I'll take you into this Napoli one. This was quite a big one. And it was a 1-1 draw in the end. We were at home, but actually it was a good result. And the reason why I say that is because if we go into the highlights here, you'll see that we actually went down to 10 men at 0-0. And it was none other, if we have a look here, than our captain, Lorenzo Pellegrini. So that was a real disappointment, just taking out Mario Rui, and the referee straight away, for a 2-footed challenge, you know, sent him off for that. So that was real disappointment. We were completely on top until then, dominating them. And even with the red card, we then went ahead. Dybala's free kick going to Ibanez at the back post, who did slot it away. But unfortunately, our lead was only short-lived. Very shortly after, from their set piece this time, Zielinski got the ball and takes a wicked deflection off Dybala, as you can see there. If we look at that, I'll get it back up again. And wrong-footed Patricio. Look at that. What a shame, a real shame, because other than that, we played very, very well with 10 men, as you can see from the stats. And in the end, it was a 1-1 draw. We had a game against Fiorentina, who were third at the time as well, and it was a good win. Tammy Abraham getting onto the score sheet. A good 1-0 win. Once again, a clean sheet. The back line really playing themselves well. We had our Europa League group, and if we have a look here, this is the draw so far. We've got Rennes, Ferencvaros and Dnipro as well, so a relatively kind draw, it has to be said. We started off with Rennes, and I did the general Jose Mourinho thing to do, which is to make 9 or 10 changes in the Europa League or European competitions, as he likes to do. And it worked out very well. A 1-0 win. Stefan El Shaarawy, in the 92nd minute, it looked like it was going to be a draw, but he comes up big out of nowhere. Originally had him in centre midfield. We moved him up front, and that really paid dividends, as you'll see here. Zalewski getting a ball out wide. It just fell to him. He just turns his man beautifully. Look at that. And a really, really excellent finish in the end, out of nowhere. And I've been trying to play him in centre midfield, but you know, really, maybe he has a role to play at front. And have another look at it there. Really lovely goal indeed, coming up big for us. And that did get us the 1-0 win. Elsewhere, we had a victory against Lecce, 5-1 in the end. Tammy Abraham bagging a brace, Matteo Gabbia getting on the score sheet, Belotti and Gialiadini as well. Really good win. And then we went away to Ferencvaros. Again, lots of changes, wholesale changes for this one. Rick Karsdorp and Andrea Belotti getting onto the score sheet. So it's been a really promising start to the season. Still unbeaten in the entire season. Long may that continue. I'm sure it's going to jinx it now, but never mind. And as you can see here, we're currently third with 2 games in hand on a lot of teams. We've only played 5 games. The schedule's been a little bit all over the place. Whereas Napoli, they're on 7. We can overtake them with a win against Empoli today. So it's looking really, really good. 4 wins and a draw out of 5. Now, I was going to title this video, as well as the Derby della Capitale, third versus fourth, because at the time, Empoli were fourth and we were third. However, we've just simmed a day and some teams have played games, and so Sassuolo and Verona have gone above them. So that is a little bit unfortunate, but they've still had a really good start, as you can see. 3 wins and a draw out of 6 games, not to be sniffed at all. And a couple of good wins in there, the likes of Sampdoria, Udinese, etc. So very, very tough game. It's a double header. We've got Empoli first, we've got the international break, and then we will of course go into the big one, Lazio, who have started poorly, it has to be said, but they've only played 4 games. Looking elsewhere, Juventus starting as slowly as they have done in real life, really. Look, currently 11th, only won 1 game. Milan is a bit of a surprise, as you can see, but again, they've only played 4 games, so 1 win, and all of a sudden they shoot up the table. There is one thing before we get into this game that I do need to fill you in on. We had deadline day, it did pass, and despite the fact I said it was going to be quiet, we did end up making a signing, and that was this guy right here, Giorgio Scalvini, 18 years old. A 29.5 million deal. Now, it's only 10 million up front. The rest are in add-ons. We also added a sell-on clause of, I think it was 15 or 20% in there as well. And I am absolutely buzzing to get this one over the line. As you can see here, ratings really, really high. He's got a lot of potential. He is a wonder kid in terms of his description. And originally, I wanted to see him as like the heir to Chris Smalling's throne in the centre of defence. And we want to try and loan him back, but he didn't want that, so we kept him, and we're currently playing him in defensive midfield, which is actually his strongest position in this game. So that's really, really big. Only 18 years old, obviously homegrown, out of that mould of Atalanta young players, and he's really announced himself onto the scene this season as well. I had him last year in FM and he was an absolute god, so delighted to get him this year as well. Really pleased with that one. Financially, we have taken a bit of a hit as a result. Like I said, we need to start kind of trimming the squad down, and we will do that in January when we can get our bearings with the team and everything. We can get a couple of players out. You know, in terms of the transfer budget, depleted, gone basically. So definitely no more signings now in terms of permanence for the rest of the year. So on to this game today then, a tough game against Empoli. All the big teams kind of in action as well, the likes of Milan and Lazio. So this is going to be a really good one. We're sticking with the same tactics. They are working very well for us so far. We've switched to the attacking one occasionally when we have needed to, and that's been working okay as well. In terms of the opposition instructions, I didn't mention them in the last episode, so I'll sort of go through quickly and let you know what I do. What I like to do is, I originally asked the assistant, but then I'll go through and kind of change them. I always turn hard tackling off. I don't like that. I don't feel comfortable with that at all. What I also like to do is any kind of really good passers of the ball, I like to close down. So for example, if you have a look here, they don't have actually too many. I'd say Barami is probably the best one. But I make sure that they don't have high dribbling skills. If they do have high dribbling attribute, then I don't close them down, because I think you're more likely to kind of fall into those traps and they can take it past you. Likewise with the wing backs or fullbacks as well, if they've got good crossers at wing back. So Parisi, for example, looks very, very good. In fact, he looks really good. We might give him a scout. Really like the look of him. But yeah, he's got good crossing, so we'll close him down. Stojanovic on the other side, his crossing isn't as good, but his dribbling is quite high, so I'm not going to close him down. With regards to the strikers, I like to mark tightly only if it suits our formation, so in which case, with 3 centre-backs, I don't want to mark 2 strikers, only if they had 1 up front, then I would consider it. With regards to the team, this is what we're going with, fairly similar, and it's nice to finally have pretty much a full squad, other than Wijnaldum, of course, who isn't with us for a while yet. Even Nicolo Zaniolo has just returned from injury. We managed to get him in for the last 15 minutes on the most recent game in the Europa League, but as you can see, he's nowhere near ready for that yet, so it's going to take him a little bit of time before we can get him back up to full fitness. Otherwise, Gianluca Mancini back in the team. We know he wasn't there in the first episode. We've finally nearly worked him up to full fitness now. Even now, it's still an issue. Giorgio Scalvini getting a start as well. It's his first start in Serie A. He's only been able to start in the 2 Europa League games so far, so that's good to get him in as well. And other than that, a fairly similar looking lineup. So into this game we go then. First highlight of the match. Smalling at the back. It's a good shape that we are showing so far. Mancini looking for that ball over the top to Spinazzola. Ball falls. Dybala. Oh, it hits the bar. It hits the bar. That's a really good opportunity. Unlucky for him. And that's a dangerous start that we show. Dybala wins that goal kick well. Zalewski. Cristante. Oh, what a finish that is. Brian Cristante from outside of the box. I'm going to turn down the match speed of the highlights a little bit here. What a hit though. Abraham gets a ball, lays it out to Zalewski on this left-hand side. He comes back into Cristante and he just absolutely wallops it. Top right corner. That is a fantastic finish. And what a start to this game that is. Pellegrini, Dybala. Zalewski. See, now that's a little bit too slow for me, but then if you turn it up here, it's a little bit too fast for you guys. A little bit annoying. Oh, Cristante again! Oh my god! I do apologise. I've been messing around with the highlights. So what is going on? Brian Cristante is having the game of his life. Look at it. This one could even be better than the first one. It really could. The ball falls to Dybala. He comes back to Zalewski, who's got himself another assist for not doing much. And Cristante gets a ball, quick turn. It just shoots across the floor this time, skims the turf. What a goal. Oh, that's a bad pass from Ibanez there. He put us into a little bit of trouble. Stojanovic on this left-hand side. Oh, it's off the post, I think. I think it hits the post from Bajrami. We get away with that one. Dybala to whip this one in. Smalling on the end of it. It hits the bar again. How many shots are going to hit the woodwork in this game? Oh, that was a really nice goal. A really nicely well-worked goal, as I'm going to turn the highlights down again. And it's Bajrami. He's really causing us issues at the moment. Look at that. They play it right out from the back. It's very, very nice. Some good works play there. And Bajrami. It's finished. Fair enough. Fair enough. It's a good goal. Right, time for some substitutes. I do believe Tammy looking a little bit tired. Let's get Belotti on for him. Elsewhere, Pellegrini not having the best of games. Not having the best of games. I'll keep him on. I don't think there's anything else really to change at the moment. I'm going to bring Dybala off here. Going to bring Zaniolo on for the final 10 minutes or so. Again, just trying to boost his sharpness any way that we can. Here's a highlight then. Belotti, who's already on a booking. Somehow. Oh, Ibanez, what is he doing? He's having an awful game. Keeps giving the ball away. And we are in a bit of trouble here. We really are. Destro. Oh, it's in. It's in. Ibanez giving the ball away. We're going to have to change tactic here. We're going to have to go for it. I can't believe we've let that 2-goal lead slip. That's really, really disappointing. I'll have another look here. It all starts from Ibanez giving that ball away. Destro then gets the ball. He runs outside of Mancini. And I think Patricio should do better there. It is straight at him. So that's disappointing. Can anything be done here? Look at that. 30 shots. 30 shots we've had. Oh, that is a disappointing result. 2-0 up. Very, very poor. Very poor. I'm going to say I'm disappointed. Again, you know, to be 2-0 up, you cannot let that slip, especially with that many chances. I mean, 30 chances, 30 shots. FM'd, I think they call it, don't they? FM'd. So we've missed the opportunity, actually, to go above Napoli. So that's a little bit disappointing. Now, you know, we've got to kind of stew on that over the international break, which is a real shame. Empoli, meanwhile, they go back up to 5th. It was a tough game, definitely. They've started off really well, but with a 2-0 lead, we have to see that game out. So heading into the international break now, this is how it looks. I have a very set routine for international breaks. I like to get match practice in on the first Saturday, and then on the Sunday, a day of rest. And then what I like to do is I like to look at when most of my players come back from international duty, which, as you'll see here, is on the Thursday, and then rest them for that day. So they get a day of rest after having come back off international duties, just to make sure they're fully recovered. And I like to do a match practice before that day as well, for any players who are still kind of remaining. Something to keep an eye out for as well. AC Milan still on a poor run of form, poor start to the season. They've just lost 4-1 to Fiorentina. So it's not looking good for them at all in early doors. Currently 15th. So you know I said no more permanent signings again. Well, strike that again, because we've just made another one. Fabricio Diaz, 19-year-old Uruguayan. I actually didn't know this player up until a couple of weeks ago. Then one of you, I can't remember who it was, suggested him on FIFA. And then I was looking to sign him, and I've also signed him on this as well. Like, he was suggested to me by one of the scouts. Really young, promising player. As you can see, 19 years old. He's only joined for 1.7 million, so we were able to make that one happen. Had to adjust the budget a little bit, and he will join because, of course, he's out of the transfer window on the 1st of January, or 2nd of January. So that's really exciting. He's a young player. We're going to look to play him in that mezzala so he can rotate with Lorenzo Pellegrini, act as that backup. We currently don't have anyone in that role. Wijnaldum can play, but obviously he's only a loan player, not the permanent solution. So really looking forward to getting him in January. Ibanez has got some nerve coming to me after that game and asking for a new contract. Seriously? Seriously? Not going to happen. He ain't going to be happy. We're going to say, I'm afraid I must insist. Fair enough. Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Bottled it, and so I should think so as well after that performance. Now, Cristante naturally won goal of the month, but I want to know why he isn't 1 and 2. Because both of his goals, I mean, that could be either goal, couldn't it? Let's face it. So here we are then, folks. The big day is upon us. The Derby della Capitale. I'm so excited for this. A little bit nervous after that last performance, I'll be honest. But very, very excited. Just the one change from the last game. Matteo Gabbia comes in for Ibanez. Now, it's not just a reaction to that game. If you have a look at his form, he's starting to just drop off a little bit. So, as a result, Matteo Gabbia, who's been performing very well, as you can see here, he comes in, gets a start. I know it's a little bit of a risk because naturally he's lower rated than Ibanez, but we're going to go with it. Other than that, the team is very much the same. We'll stick it out for now, see how it goes. If you have a look at Lazio, very much what we'd expect, that 4-3-3 in the mould of Maurizio Sarri. Very, very good team. Very good midfield. If you have a look at that, we'll be closing them down as much as we possibly can. It's going to be a really tough game, despite the fact that they have started a little bit slowly. Some Roma fans and some Lazio fans, in fact a lot of them, actually judge the league based on whether or not they finish above the other one, rather than where they finish in the league table. So that's how big this derby is, how important this is going to be in the context of the season. As you have a look here, Lazio currently 12th. A slow start for them, but a lot of games in hand. So let's see where this one takes us. Pellegrini then, another free kick. Oh, Smalling with an opportunity there. Just misses the post. Mancini just spreading it across the width of the field at the moment. Spinazzola having a good run at the opposition. Now that's a really good run. Takes it to the byline. He's got Abraham in the box. He should do better there, Abraham. After Spinazzola's really good work, he should do better. Romagnoli. He'll look to go long. Mancini does collect that one. Into Cristante. That's a good pass, as is that one as well. Out to Zalewski. Through to Abraham. There's a pass on to the box. And Dybala's there. He capitalises on the defensive mistake. And Paulo Dybala is the one to get us underway in this massive Derby della Capitale. Really nice play. Two good passes from Mancini and Cristante. Spreading it out wide. Zalewski. Abraham looks to go back in. It's a mess up from the goalkeeper, Provedel, and it's I'm pretty sure he's the backup keeper. Pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't seem to recall him. In fact, I'm going to have a quick look at Lazio now, because I want to know. I could have sworn that they'd signed a goalkeeper this season. Oh, there he is. That's it. Maximiano. I'm pretty sure he's the one playing in real life. I mean, I've watched him a couple of times this season already. And yeah, they signed him for nearly 10 million from Granada, but for some reason in this, they're opting to play Provedel, which is a surprise. And he's made the mistake. He's made a huge error and allowed Paulo Dybala to get in. 1-0. Marušić then taking his throw in on the left-hand side. A couple of players on bookings for them, including Pedro, who has that opportunity. Save from Rui Patricio. Right, so half-time. Currently 1-0. You're playing well so far, but there's still room for improvement. What's important to note is that Lazio have a few players on bookings already. As you can see, we need, as Jose would do, he would be saying, you know, coax them into bookings. I don't know how we could do that on this game, but that's what we need to do. I need to tell Scalvini just to calm down a little bit as well, because he is currently on a booking. There we'll find him saying he's kind of to avoid being sent off there. And into the second half we go. No changes at the break. Cataldi picking up the ball deep here. Lazzari, who's now on the pitch, comes on for Husai, lays it off to Anderson. Cristante does well. Patricio, oh, that's ball from Patricio. Thankfully Pellegrini is there to mop up really nicely. Oh, Scalvini giving the ball away. What are you doing? Luis Alberto whips it in. Zalewski deals with it. Can Abraham claim that one? Yes, he can. And he turns his man as well. Dybala's there. Oh, he doesn't manage to play it through to him. Still running is Abraham. He'll cut back inside. Zalewski falls too, and there's the goal. What a finish from Nikola Zalewski. It's his first goal of the new season. He's having a really good season. He's got a few assists, and now he's added the first goal to his name. Abraham does really nice work. Dybala can't win the header, but it falls to Zalewski, and on the half volley, that's a fantastic goal. It really is. What a way to go 2-0 up in this massive game. Luis Alberto with a free kick here. This is dodgy. The keeper needs to step across a little bit. Patricio does. He makes a really good save because that was close from Luis Alberto. And you know what? I'm going to take off Scalvini at this point for Nemanja Matic. Just very worried about his booking. We've got Smalling on a booking as well now, but he's at least playing better. I'm going to make a couple of changes. Tammy's going to come off. Not having the best of games. Looking a bit aggressive. We're going to bring on Belotti for him. We're also going to take off Spinazzola, who is starting to look tired. We're going to bring on Zeki Celik in place for him. Mancini into Dybala. That's nice play. Really nice play. Through to Belotti. And he makes it free. And we're really running away with this now in the Derby della Capitale. Andrea Belotti on. He hasn't been on for very long. Only a few minutes from the subs bench. And what a way to make his mark. It's lovely build-up play. Dybala, Matic, Cristante. One-touch stuff. Cristante sends it through to Belotti. And it's a lovely finish. A really nice run as well. 3-0 now. And we are running away with this one. So we're coming to the closing stages now. Can we just see out this one? A clean sheet would be really, really big. And we do get it. What a fantastic win that is. 3-0 in the end. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The supporters are going to be delighted with that. Absolutely delighted. I'm going to say outstretched arms. And I'm going to say I am delighted. That's a great win. Really, really great win. Despite the fact they've come into this season, they've started slowly. It's still a really tough game. You see how good their players are. It's a clash of styles as well between, you know, Sarri's progressive, attacking, committed style and our more kind of pragmatic system. So that's a really, really big win. We are still third in the table, but, you know, a game in hand over Napoli. If we can get something from that game in hand, then we will go above them and only 4 points off Inter Milan. But most of all, though, as is the goal, we are obviously trying to achieve top 4. And at the moment, we're 5 points clear of Verona in that position, so that's really, really huge. Sarri claims Mourinho lacks class. Bit of mind games, sticking with that Mourinho mould, very much so. Thinking of a quick look at the player stats in the competition is worth it. In order, Tammy Abraham still top of the goal scoring charts and top of the average rating charts and top of the man of the match charts. He's really having a good start to the season. 7 goals in 7 games and 1 assist as well. Just for good measure. You can't argue with that, can you? Meanwhile, Nikola Zalewski, 5 assists already this season, doing very well. Not in Çalhanoğlu range, but then again, he will be taking all of the set pieces, I imagine. So that'll be why his assist charts are so high. But it's been a really, really tremendous start. So still unbeaten. I'll admit, I didn't expect it to be this good to start the season. I was a bit nervous about the fact that we're playing this more defensive, pragmatic style, but the team has started really well, playing very well indeed. Long may it continue. Just looking ahead, what you can expect from the next episode. I'm thinking we go to that game, Juventus away, followed by Cremonese away as well, because then that leads us into the World Cup break. So those will be the final games of 2022 before we go into the new year. We do have kind of Inter and Sassuolo that we could think of, but it is a little bit close, and I do kind of want to make sure that we're getting enough progression into this series and not kind of having episodes every couple of games or so. So I think probably coming back for those final games of the first half of the season before the World Cup against Juve is probably the best one. So with that being said, I think we're going to finish it there. If you've made it through to the end, thank you so much for watching, guys. Make sure to let me know what formations and what styles you're using, as I asked at the start of the video, in the comment section down below. Don't forget to check out my gaming podcast, all about video games with me and my pal Ash, and my Patreon. Lots of great perks and rewards on there. Great way to support the channel if you can afford it. You can check out all the links in the description down below. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed it and you want to see more. Don't forget to check out all the other series on the channel. And with that being said, we are going to finish it there. Thank you so much for watching. And until the next one, I will see you soon.